Rapunzel, a retelling inspired by Tangled. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, a magical golden flower grew under the moonlight. This flower had the power to heal wounds and even restore youth. A wicked old woman named Mother Gothel kept the flower hidden for herself, using its magic to stay young forever. One day, the kingdom's beloved queen fell dangerously ill while expecting a baby. The royal guards searched everywhere for a cure and found the magical flower. They brewed it into a potion which saved the queen's life. Soon after, she gave birth to a beautiful baby girl with golden hair that shimmered like sunlight. The king and queen named her Rapunzel. But Mother Gothel, desperate to keep her youth, discovered that Rapunzel's hair now held the magic of the flower. She snuck into the castle in the dead of night and tried to cut a piece of Rapunzel's hair, but the moment it was cut, it lost its magic. Realizing she needed the child, she kidnapped Rapunzel and took her deep into the forest, locking her in a hidden tower with no doors. Life in the tower Rapunzel grew up believing Mother Gothel was her real mother. Every day, she brushed her 70 feet of golden hair and sang a special song that made it glow and heal. Flower, gleam and glow, let your power shine. Make the clock reverse. Bring back what once was mine. Mother Gothel used Rapunzel's magic to stay young, but she never let the girl leave the tower, saying the outside world was dangerous and full of thieves. But Rapunzel longed to see the world beyond. Every year on her birthday, she watched beautiful floating lanterns rise into the night sky. She didn't know they were released by the king and queen, hoping their lost princess would see them and return home. A thief, a dream, and an escape. One day, a clever thief named Flynn Rider, real name Eugene Fitzherbert, stole the kingdom's royal crown and fled into the forest. While escaping the guards, he found Rapunzel's hidden tower and climbed up, thinking it was a good hiding place. But thwack! Rapunzel knocked him out with a frying pan. She hid the stolen crown and made a deal. If Flynn took her to see the floating lanterns, she would return his treasure. And so, for the first time in her life, Rapunzel left the tower. A journey of discovery. Rapunzel and Flynn had many adventures along the way. They visited a rowdy tavern full of scary ruffians who turned out to be kind-hearted dreamers. They danced in the kingdom's festival, ate cupcakes, and even escaped the king's guards and Mother Gothel, who was furious Rapunzel had left. Slowly, Rapunzel and Flynn grew closer. He told her his real name, Eugene, and Rapunzel realized that the world outside wasn't as scary as Mother Gothel had said. The truth about Rapunzel. As Rapunzel and Eugene floated on the lake, surrounded by thousands of glowing lanterns, a deep feeling of peace washed over her. This was the moment she had dreamed of her entire life. She turned to Eugene, her heart pounding. "I think I'm starting to understand. I've seen this symbol before." She touched the royal crest on the lantern in her hands, the same golden sunburst she had painted over and over in the tower without knowing why. Flashes of memory hit her. A crib, a woman singing to her, a soft crown placed on her tiny head. She wasn't just any girl, she was the lost princess. Before she could tell Eugene, she noticed his expression change. He looked past her, eyes widening in alarm. Mother Gothel. The wicked woman had been lurking in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike. Before Rapunzel could react, Gothel's accomplice knocked Eugene unconscious and tied him up. "You need to come home now, Rapunzel," Gothel said sweetly, but her grip was like iron. This was a mistake. She forced Rapunzel back to the tower, dragging her away from the truth. Rapunzel's final stand back in the tower, Rapunzel sat in despair. She had been so close to freedom, to learning the truth about herself. She traced the sun emblem on the wall with trembling fingers, realization burning in her chest. She was the princess. She spun toward Gothel, fire in her eyes. "You were lying to me my whole life," Gothel scoffed. "What choice did I have, Rapunzel? The world is cruel. I was protecting you." But Rapunzel wasn't afraid anymore. At that moment, Eugene burst through the window. He had escaped his captors and climbed the tower one last time to save her. But Gothel was waiting. With a flash of silver, she stabbed him. Rapunzel gasped as Eugene collapsed to the floor, blood staining his shirt. She rushed to him, hands shaking. He was dying. Desperate, she turned to Gothel. "If you let me heal him, I'll stay with you, forever." Gothel hesitated. Rapunzel's magic was her only chance to stay young. Finally, she relented, stepping back. Rapunzel cupped Eugene's face, her golden hair glowing as she prepared to sing the healing song. Tears blurred her vision, but Eugene, weak and barely able to move, reached up and gently touched her face. "No, Rapunzel." With his last ounce of strength, he grabbed a shard of broken mirror and sliced off her golden braid. The fall of Mother Gothel. Rapunzel gasped as her hair turned brown and lost its glow. The magic was gone. The change was instant. Gothel let out a strangled cry as her youth vanished before her eyes. Wrinkles spread across her face, her skin turned gray, and her hair withered into brittle strands. Stumbling backward in horror, she tripped over the remains of the mirror. She reached for the window, but lost her balance, falling from the tower into the darkness below. She was gone. A miracle Rapunzel turned back to Eugene, her heart pounding in panic. His breathing was ragged, and his eyes fluttered shut. "No, no, no, stay with me," she pleaded, pressing her hands to his wound. "Please, I can fix this." She tried to sing, but her voice cracked with sobs. "Flower, gleam and glow, let your power shine." But the magic was gone. Eugene gave her a weak, loving smile. "You were my new dream," he whispered. His hand went limp. Silence. Rapunzel let out a choked sob. Tears spilled down her face, falling onto his cheek. And then, a golden glow shimmered. The last bit of magic, hidden in Rapunzel herself, surged through her tear. Eugene's wound began to heal, the color returned to his skin, and suddenly, he took a deep breath. Rapunzel gasped as Eugene's eyes fluttered open. "Did I die?" he muttered. Rapunzel burst into laughter and hugged him so tightly he could barely breathe. "No, but don't ever do that again." The return of the lost princess days. Later, Rapunzel stood at the gates of the castle, heart racing. She had dreamed of seeing the world outside her tower, but now she stood before something even greater, her real family. As she stepped inside, the king and queen turned. The queen covered her mouth, tears streaming down her face. The king, normally a strong and composed man, broke down and embraced her. Rapunzel felt warmth, love, and belonging for the first time in her life. She was home. The entire kingdom celebrated the return of their lost princess, releasing thousands of lanterns into the sky. Rapunzel and Eugene danced, laughed, and made new memories together. And from that day forward, Rapunzel was no longer a girl locked in a tower. She was a princess, a leader, and the keeper of her own destiny. The end.